on the chartering of our club. This happened on December 21st. And thank you all for making this possible through all your contributions in each of our meetings. So all of our meetings have a theme. And today the theme of personalization will be weaved through our discussions. Indeed, according to Accenture research, 91% of consumers are more likely to shop with brands that provide relevant, personalized offers and recommendations. And we also know that 83% of consumers are willing to share their data to create these personalized experiences. And over 60% stop buying from brands that use poor personalization tactics. And so knowing that personalized marketing affects the experience and ultimately the bottom line for companies, what does this mean for us as product managers? How can we contribute to the research into our customer segments, experimentation, and product decisions that leverage our learnings about our customer needs? So it will be interesting to hear whether and how product managers in the club are tackling this topic. Now, for our guests joining for the first time, you'll notice you're muted on entry. You can toggle your mic on when you speak. We encourage you to keep your camera on so we can all sort of engage with each other. There is a option in the upper right-hand corner of your Zoom screen to change from speaker to gallery view. I will also be spotlighting our speakers, as I mentioned earlier. You can use the chat feature on the bottom of the Zoom screen. You can chat the whole team, the whole group that's on the call, or individual members. You can direct message by selecting their name from the dropdown. And finally, and again, a question came up about this earlier. So this meeting is being recorded because it's our policy to that by participating in our meeting, you agree that a recording will be made publicly available on our YouTube and our website. And at this time, I'd love to introduce you to our president, Erica Tambura. So Erica, on to you.
Thank you, Svetlana. Welcome to the first meeting of the new year. I'm really looking forward to starting off this year with everybody and helping us all meet those New Year's resolution goals. The mission of the Women in Product Toastmasters Club is to provide an opportunity for women to develop product management skills, build and practice communication techniques, and gain leadership experience in a safe, supportive, and collegial forum. And we welcome our guests today who are going to be experiencing the Toastmasters meeting possibly for the first time. And so we have a special new welcome. Raji is our new mentor. Wanted to give her a big warm welcome. Raji is a component design engineer at Intel, and she has extensive Toastmasters experience. Prior roles include Area D2 Director, Club Secretary, and VP of PR. And I'm really excited to meet you, Raji. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Erica.
And I'd like to introduce our guests today as well. Please help me out identifying you because I get lost in the matrix. Angie, I believe, is joined. There's Angie. And is there anybody else that we have as guests today that I'm not finding?
Hi, this is Priyanka Sharma.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. So today we invite you to participate in the meeting as much as you would like. There's a table topics later that is some impromptu speeches, 1 to 2 minutes. If you would not like to participate, please let me know. Otherwise, I may pick you because I am the table topics master today. And we invite you just to say hello. Let us know your name, what you're interested in product, where you shine, anything that you would like to quickly share with us today before we get started.
I'll go ahead and start. Hi, my name is Angie Badillo. I'm currently a product manager at iHerb, which is an online retailer that sells anything that ranges from supplements to groceries to beauty products. I mean, you name it, we have it all. This is actually not my first Toastmasters meeting. I've been to several different ones out in LA when years back when pandemic wasn't a thing. But I would love to focus my time and my efforts into product management oriented Toastmasters to be able to develop my communication skills and to meet other women in this space. And I really believe in empowering and uplifting women, especially in this space and just overall. So I'm really excited to be here. And one thing to just quickly mention about me is that I am making my next move to cryptocurrency and blockchain industry next. So I'm like gearing up, preparing myself for that. And if there's anyone out there who's interested, then I'd love to speak to you, or who's already in the space. I'd love to just share and listen to what you're going through, what it's like, and just anything and everything. If you know anyone who you can connect me to, I'd really love that. So thank you.
Thank you for coming, Angie. Bianca, would you like to say hi?
Yeah, sure. Hi. Hi, everyone. Sorry, I'm not on video because I just got up late and it was Sunday. I totally missed the notification. And so next time, I'm sure I will show my face. I'll be a little bit more dressed up. That being said, I am a product manager for a company called OpenText, and I'm a product manager for a forensic and e-discovery and security space. I have been a pretty new product manager. I was transitioned from a software development manager in TiVo to this space, which I didn't know about. And because I did my MBA and then I moved to product management, this was, I became product manager like 2.5 years ago. So I'm just learning the space. I learned a lot in MBA, but then to apply that in the real in real life, how to go about doing the business reviews and creating the business case, all that is, and then working with a lot of functions in the company, pretty new to that. So I found Toastmaster and I jumped on this opportunity because I definitely want to know more women in this space in product management, since I am the only one in my department as a product manager, as a woman there. So pretty lonely there. I feel pretty lonely there. So I want to meet people. I want to meet the women here and also learn so much about all those. You guys have so much of experience here, and I'm very excited to learn product management skills and improve myself and networking, definitely. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you for joining us today. I'm gonna hopefully pronounce your name wrong or correct. Hopefully correct. Yori, would you like to say hello?
Hi, I'm Gauri. I'm a product manager. And this is my first Toastmasters meeting, so I absolutely do not know what to expect. So I'm sort of just here to watch and observe and learn a little bit more about how these work. So thank you for having me.
Welcome. Okay, I will pass it back to Svetlana. Or wait, no, I'm sorry. I will introduce our Toastmaster of the day, which is Lori Edwards. Lori is our VP of PR, superstar, and gonna be a great Toastmaster today. Welcome, Lori.
Thanks, Erica. And hopefully I am. This is my first time being the Toastmaster, so we'll see how this goes. Welcome, everyone. It's exciting to have some new guests. We officially made it to 2021, and I'm excited to kick this new year off with a club of extraordinary women. Today's theme, as Svetlana mentioned, is personalization. And it might be one of those things that leaves you here saying like, oh, so that's how we do that, or that's how that works, or what do you do? So by show of hands, how many of you have a product today that you work on that has a personalized component or that you use in your daily life that requires personalization? I think that's all of us. I'm pretty sure we all are touched by this. So from my perspective, I like to say that personalization has kind of become the new cruise control. People won't ask for it in a car, but they also won't buy a car that doesn't have it. And it's just kind of expected. And as Svetlana mentioned, if the experience isn't good, you're not going back for more. This can be an extremely challenging technology to build and manage for even the most experienced teams. So today, we're going to hear this theme throughout the course of our meeting. Today's agenda, it is linked in the meeting invite, and I also just linked it in the chat so everyone can easily access it. You'll see an agenda or a schedule for the meeting. So for our guests, this is where you can quickly find to see how things will go. And you will also see each meeting role. The definitions of each meeting role are also included in the agenda. So if you find yourself wondering, like, what is an odd counter? What are they doing? Why is this girl switching her backgrounds to different colors? Probably because she's the timer. So the agenda will have some of that information for you. So today for our meeting, our general evaluator will be Rita. Rita is also our mentor. Our first evaluator or speech evaluator will be Surmai. Our second evaluator is Liz. Our third evaluator is Nav. Our awe counter is Misha. Our grammarian is Tanya. Our timer is Patricia. And we actually added a new role for this meeting, our vote counter, and that will be Amy. Amy will be tallying the votes for our table topics and announcing the winner. So with that, I'm now going to turn it over to Tanya, who's our grammarian for the week, to introduce the word of the day and teach us something new. Tanya? You're on mute.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster, and guests. As grammarian, it's my responsibility to pay close attention to everyone who's speaking. I listen carefully to the language usage. I'll take note of any improper language as well as any outstanding words, quotes, sayings, or thoughts that I find special. As grammarian, it's also my duty to introduce the word of the day. And already I have logged 3 people, Svetlana, Priyanka, and Lori, who have all used it. So this should be pretty easy. For today's meeting, the word is experience, which in our product world, we all know is very relevant as we continuously strive to perfect our customers' experience through personalization, which is the theme of the day. Each speaker is encouraged to use the word of the day, and I will give the grammarian's report when called upon during the meeting and also report on the usage of the word of the day. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Back to you.
Awesome, thank you. So today, our first speaker is going to be Jennifer Ginsburg. Jennifer is the Director of Agile Transformation and Program Management, who has a deep passion for building products and solutions that delight customers. And she's an avid mountain biker, skier, boarder, and loves the great outdoors. She's also a mom trying to balance the needs of her family with work and sometimes experiences extraordinary successes as well as extraordinary failures. Throughout it all, she tries to meet people where they're at and one step ahead. So with that, I turn it over to you, Jennifer.
Thank you, Lori. And, you know, I thought about as I went through creating this speech, when we talk about personalization, one of the things that I am constantly trying to do is really trying to change people's behavior, right? If you think about even the products that we roll out, the things that we are creating, at the end of the day, what we're doing is we're trying to change the way people interact on a day-to-day basis with the software, within their jobs. And in my case, sometimes worse yet, I've had to explain to one of my kids, why is it important to do their homework? That behavioral change is something that I think all of us can resonate with, right? It's something that's a common frustration that people experience all the time. And I can personally say those are things that I've experienced myself. Hi, I'm Jennifer Ginsburg, and as Lori mentioned, I'm a Director of Agile Transformation at TransUnion. And I'm responsible for implementing and at times selling agility practices as a means to be able to quickly sense and respond to market needs. So not only do I have to sell these ideas, but I also have to work with groups of people to mobilize them, change people's behaviors, maybe even change mindsets. And I've come to realize that in my current role, my organization at TransUnion is truly my product. And transformation activities is the means by which I organize change within the organization. So for me, as an introduction to myself, I'd like to share a little bit about how I got to this point. And my personal journey starts with a natural curiosity of people. What makes people tick? Why do they do the things they do? And this curiosity really stems from some personal things that happened with me in my own personal life. In middle school, I was bullied. I was that awkward teenage girl that had a hard time communicating with people. I wore weird clothing. I had big dorky glasses. And I really wanted to understand why do other people treat others so unkindly? And so in this quest for knowledge, I came to love psychology and behavioral studies. And my parents, coming from an Asian household, told me, I'm not going to make any money as a psychologist. Put that aside. You don't need to do that. So I moved towards business and thought, I'm going to be an accountant. I had an internship in accounting. I realized that that was a terrible idea. For me, I found accounting was incredibly boring. But what I did find was that the software used at that time was so basic, it was begging to be overhauled. And that's when I found my love for technology. There is literally no other industry on this planet that I feel like you can come up with an idea, make something from nothing with your own bare hands, and get it to scale. So I became a developer with a mission and a passion to make the best accounting software on the planet. And that actually lasted for a little while. I found I had a true passion for creating software products that really help people. And fortunately for me, my other super secret power was listening and deeply understanding what people desire. At its core, what I found in psychology and my interactions with people is that at the end of the day, people want to be seen, valued, and heard. Seen might mean I want to stand out. I want someone to notice that my problems are unique. I'm unique. People want to be valued for who they are and what they do on a day-to-day basis. And most importantly, they want to be heard and understood. And so when we create great consumable products that tap into this desire. Personalized products make people stand out. They make people feel important. They make people feel like they are the creative ones. Who wouldn't want to be able to create something that is completely their own and flaunt it? In a similar way, transformation and agility services inherently relies on seeing the people in the organization, valuing the work that they do, hearing and addressing their concerns. And without that deep connection to people in the organization, transformation efforts can and will fail. Having been a developer, a product person in the past, transformationalist, and more importantly, this is a lesson that I've learned as a mom. I've come to realize that when you're communicating and influencing change, we really do truly have to meet people where they're at and maybe one step ahead. So what this translates into is understanding your audience and what is that personal, important experience for them. Articulating your point of view in terms that resonate with them. Take that tiny step forward towards the behavior you want to influence. So the next time you roll out a product, take that time to understand what people are using today. What's their perspective? Advance that concept one gradual step forward. And for that kid that won't do their homework, speak at their level. Recognize where they're at. Start small, teach focused, maybe build a habit. And at the end of all of that, have a glass of wine. So with that, I'd like to turn it back over to our Madam Toastmaster. Thank you.
Great job, Jennifer. That was a fun speech.
Thank you.
So with that, I'm going to give the evaluators 1 minute to write down some remarks so they can remember everything that just happened, and then we'll move on to the second one. Svetlana, I like your comment of we need some elevator music in the background. Everyone loves long, awkward pauses. We're all going to get comfortable. with them.
I'm gonna look for something for sure.
All right. So with that, I think our evaluators got some time to write some stuff down. So our next speaker today is going to be Isha Singh, our VP of Education. Isha has 14 years of experience in the tech industry working on both commercial and enterprise software products. She is a go-getter and has a reputation of give it to Isha and she'll get it done. Her superpowers are patience and determination. And with that, the title of the speech that she'll be giving us today is Know Me to Personalize. Isha, take it away.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Today's theme is personalization. And the first thing that comes to my mind is a quote from Steve Jobs. You've got to start with the customer experience and work backwards to technology. In the modern world, customers anticipate organizations to know them, proactively serve them for their needs. They don't want to think and expect everything is available at their fingertips, when and where they want it. Would you like your experience on a website where you do one transaction, or would you like the platform that prompts you and asks you if you need something else based on your shopping history? Let's explore this sentiment a bit more. But first, let me introduce myself. I'm Isha Singh. I'm a mom, a wife, a daughter, a sister, and a product professional. I did my bachelor's, started my career as a developer, then became a project manager, and finally found my passion for product management. Now, if I ask you to build a product based on the information I gave, what kind of product will it be? How would you know if I will use it or not? Or does it satisfy my needs? What I told you about me can be anyone's story. You as a listener have no idea who I am, what my personality is, why and how I got where I am today. As a result, you have no empathy, and you will probably not remember me when designing your product. Now let me give you some more details about myself. I did my bachelor's in electronics engineering in India. I moved to California in 2006. Also in 2006, I got admitted to do my master's from USC, but I also got a job offer as a developer in HP. To kickstart my career, I took the job offer. I quickly realized that being a developer was not a thing that I wanted to do long term. And I moved to management roles, did my MBA, and made a transition to product management about 8 years ago. I've worked in private sector as well as public sector, launching both B2B and B2C products. Currently, I'm working as a product manager in Workday, bringing my skills and passion to fruition by improving customer experience for my products and features. I strongly believe that if I can't relate to the product, no one else will. I have a beautiful family, and I'm a proud mom of a 4-year-old girl. I never miss the opportunity when she asks me to bake cupcakes and cookies with her. Now, with the details I provided, any product manager in their research can infer a lot about me, categorize me into smaller groups, gather information using AI and ML to predict my needs, as well as for people like me. Similarly, organizations today spend a lot of time and resources to do user research. They want to build habit-forming products. This is true for Facebook, Pinterest, Netflix, Amazon, and many more organizations. These tech giants have billions of users, and meeting every one of them to know their story and to cater to them is simply not possible. Then how do they organize their research and define user needs? For a successful product, organizations today have a personalization strategy that allows you to identify segments of visitors with distinct preferences or needs that create targeted experience for them by building personas and product journeys. In case you're not aware, personas are fictional characters which you create based on your research to represent the users that might use your product in a similar way. Creating personas help you understand your users' needs, experiences, behaviors, sentiment, and goals. A persona can be based on multiple factors: demographics, online presence, buying power, motivations, habits, recent events, and many more factors. Personas help develop journeys for your product and give guidance to the product managers for future roadmap. Once the product starts to meet customer where they are and showing relevant information personalized to them, the user gets hooked to the product because now operating that product has become a second habit for them. There are a lot of tools available to gather this information, from Google Analytics to specific SaaS products like Gainsight. The correct use of data will allow you to empathize with your customer, make an impact on every stage of the digital customer experience, and in turn, see exponential revenue growth, customer loyalty, and success for your organization. One thing to remember is that product personalization is not a one-time thing or a project with a definite start and end date. You need to continuously update and refine your personalization process and strategy. With personalization, customers perceive they have more control, and consumers would want to rather spend more time filtering out irrelevant information if they don't have to. Few things I would like to take from my speech today. One, know your customer base for your product, what they do, how they feel, what they would like to see. Second, spend time on your research, build personas and product journeys. Third, if you would like to know more or learn more about habit-forming products, read these two books, Atomic Habits by James Clear and Hooked by Nir Eyal. Thank you. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Isha. So we're going to have another 1 minute awkward pause. And Isha, maybe you can post those two book titles in the chat for us all to write down because they sound interesting. So
I will definitely do that.
awesome. Yes, Svetlana, great fun. All right. So our final speaker today is going to be Swati with her speech titled How I Renamed Myself. Swati is an early stage startup founder who loves geeking out about computer science concepts. And at other times, you might see her cuddling with her toy poodle dog, Pixel, which I hope to see in future meetings. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Swati.
Did you know that there are over 7.6 billion people living in this world right now? Now let's keep that number in mind and think about this. Can any of you here tell me if you have ever met two people who were exactly the same in all the aspects? The answer is no. No two people are exactly the same. All of us are unique in our own way. While there might be some aspects which might be similar, it is usually impossible to find a person who is exactly the same as someone else. One such aspect is your name. Nowadays, it is so common to find someone who has the same name as yours. And why wouldn't it be the case? The population of the world has soared so high that it is really tough for parents to come up with unique names. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, my name is Swati Priyam. I prefer to be called Swati. This name is a fairly common name in India, and every now and then I have found myself in a room of people where there are more than one person who have the same name as Swati. For you to know me a little better, it is important for you to understand how I got this name. Usually, a name would have a first name, followed by a middle name, and followed by a last name or the family name. I only have a first name. My first name is Swati Priyam. No middle name, no last name. Something is weird, right? Unlike here in the US, it is not necessary for the newborn to have a name just after birth in India. In fact, the newborn will not have a name for a few days, and that's okay. Then there is a special ceremony which happens on the 6th day where friends and family get together to celebrate the happy occasion of a new life. All the members of the family come prepared with prospective names for the newborn. But before suggesting the names, they have to wait for an announcement by an important person in the room, the family priest. Based on the time and the day you are born, he or she comes up with the lucky letter of the alphabet, which becomes the starting letter for your name. In my case, the priest announced that my name should start with the letter S. However, nobody had prepared for the letter S. I am the second and the youngest kid to my parents. When I was born, I already had a 3-year-old elder brother who had just learned about the English alphabet. When he heard that he had to come up with a word starting with the letter S, he remembered that his best friend's name in his kindergarten is Swati Priyam, which also starts with letter S. He told everyone in the room that he wanted to name his sister after his best friend. And everyone thought that it is such a cute thing to do. Let her elder brother give her a name. My 3-year-old brother insisted that I take the full name Swati Priyam and not just Swati followed by my family name. My family gave in to that and named me Swati Priyam, all because they found it cute that my 3-year-old brother had come up with that name. After hating the origin of my name for quite some time and the fact that I did not get my family name while the rest of the family got it, I decided to turn things around for me. I converted my name to an acronym and associated myself with that. And now I revise it every year based on how I want to feel about myself. Adding this personalization to my name has done wonders for me. And today, I would like for you all to remember me by not Swati, my name, but rather the acronym Swati, which resides within me currently. The first letter S stands for Startup Founder. I have just stepped into my entrepreneurial career after experiencing the tech corporate world for 8 years. The second letter W stands for weird, but in a fun way. And why wouldn't I be weird? I have given up my well-paying job at the moment to pursue my crazy business idea. The third letter A stands for adventurous. I have done several adventurous things in my personal and professional life. My husband and I went and got married in Las Vegas, which till date holds to be the most adventurous memory of my life. Professionally, I have also been adventurous in trying out different roles in my career. The fourth letter T stands for technical. Even though I hold my bachelor's and master's degree in computer science, I had paused my software development work after I transitioned to product 3 years ago. But this year in 2021, I have started to write code again. The last and the final letter I stands for inquisitive. I love to learn new things for my professional work or as a hobby. Being an early stage founder gives me a lot of opportunities to learn new things every day. And when I'm not doing that, I'm currently using my time to learn how to play tennis. Thus, you can see how I did not actually change my name, but I changed what my name meant to me. At any time in our lives, we can always change our perspective towards things by redefining them. I think this is a great way to take control of your life. Thank you.
Great job, Swati. All right, so one more minute of awkward silence where we all can stare at each other and jot down any notes. I definitely learned some things, so here we go. All right. So we're going to move into the next section of our meeting, and that is our table topics section. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Erica, who is our table topics master today. And she spoke earlier because she's also our president. So Erica, what do you have for us?
Thank you so much, Lori. I hopefully have some cool questions for everybody. I would like to invite Rosalia. Would you like to answer the first question today? Which is, can you please talk about an experience that you had in which you identified a need for more personalization in a product?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and start. So I think this takes me back to when I was working at DoorDash. I had a lot of clients that had very similar needs in the sense that they were all business owners for restaurants, but there were little things here and there that differentiated them. So some of them were coming from the corporate world, so they were owning bigger chains. Others were managing mom and pop shops. And so when you think about your different users, right, not everyone is going to have the same needs from your service. And so a lot of times I had to put together like highlights of what our products could offer in a better way that suited their needs versus a different type of user, right? And so I'm thinking specifically about a small mom and pop that I worked with. A lot of the things that they saw were very nice and useful, but they were very overwhelmed with the amount of orders that they were getting from us. And so making sure that we could customize a package for them or customize the product to their needs was essential so that we could deliver the best service to them. And so I think this goes back to remembering how important personalization is when you move forward with different products. Not your product isn't always going to fit everyone. And so remembering how can you make it or what can you pull from your product so that it does fit the needs of others and you expand your circle or your audience, right? And so that's something that came to mind. And I always think about that whenever I'm trying to fit needs or figure out how we can make new user cases.
Thank you so much, Rosalia. The world is definitely not a one size fits all, right? The second table topics question, Misha, I would like to invite you to answer this one. You've experienced at least one product that you really connected with because of a feature that was personalized to you. Can you describe what that feature was and why that feature resonated with you?
Sure. Thank you for this opportunity. So the topic, the product that I really connected with would be Pinterest. And as Isha was also saying in her speech earlier, that the way Pinterest would learn about what my interests are was very intriguing. And at the time when I started using Pinterest, I was definitely not super aware of what AI and ML was and what it was doing and how I was seeing all these results that I really wanted to see. So this is back, I would say 7 or 8 years ago when we bought our first house, and I was looking for all the home decor pieces, the pieces that I would see in the staged houses and the ones that I wanted to bring to my house, the same concepts, the same colors, the same ideas. So when I started searching on Pinterest, I could see that as soon as I think Pinterest learned that my color palette was a specific tone, I was getting similar kind of color suggestions around the house and not just for the bedroom or the living room. And everything could be planned in a more cohesive way than to be set differently. So that's the personalized feature that I really connected with. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Misha. Who here does not have a home improvement board on Pinterest? Let's see. Angie, I would like to invite you to join us today and answer table topics if you're willing.
Sure.
Product customization has many benefits: increased sales, increased brand loyalty. In your experience, can you talk about one benefit that you've seen in regards to product customization?
Sure. So as a product manager at an online retailer who is can be all over the place sometimes, but one of the ventures that our company decided to take sometime last year was to create a second sister store who is to dedicate our resources and time to selling beauty products. So anything that is related to makeup, your eyebrow brush, your lipstick, your lotion, face mask, all of those good old beauty products that are more or less catered to women have been taken up and put it into different database to a different store. And along with that, we decided to try something new because the concept of personalization was something new for all of us. So what we decided to do was create a quiz for our new customers to be able to identify different types of skin they had, like dry skin, oily skin, and with that, the different types of products that they would like to search for and browse and discover. And we were able to collect all those feedback from our customers and really serve up exactly what they're anticipating to find in our store. And we were able to serve different types of, based on your quiz questions and answers, then you are more likely to get served up oily products that are suited for your oily skin needs rather than anything that is actually made for those with dry skin or who's suffering from sensitive skin. So we did see a significant amount of sales generated with that technology and with the tactic and strategy. And that ultimately drove up our sales and our number of referrals through word of mouth because people really found that feature neat and very useful for the customers. And that it was definitely one way that we saw the benefits of customization.
Thank you so much for that example,
Thank
Anne. And welcome to your first Women in Product presentation or speech. Okay, I think I'm supposed to remind everybody that we'll be voting on your favorite table topics speech today. And please send your vote to Amy Kirkland. Just as a reminder that it was Rosalia, Misha, and Angie that talked today. And I will hand it back over to Lori.
Thank you, Erica. And yeah, you can use the chat feature to directly message your vote over to Amy, and Amy will announce that after our evaluations. So with that, I'm going to introduce Rita. She is our mentor and our general evaluator for today's meeting. So Rita, do you want to give us your evaluations?
Yes, and I think what we'll do is we'll start off by inviting our speech evaluators to share their evaluations on the speeches that they heard today. And so our first evaluator evaluating Jennifer's speech is Shermani. Are you here? There you are.
Thank you, Rita. Hi, everyone. Happy New Year. And I'm here to evaluate Jennifer's speech. So Jennifer, first of all, congratulations. It was a great speech. And firstly, it was a great start when you just started to talk about why personalization matters. And then you gave your introduction. I thought that was pretty smooth. I like the way you told a personal story where I, as an audience, was able to relate and picture whenever you were talking about your childhood and how you arrived at what you arrived at, what your background was. I thought that was very vivid and nice. the way you took us through your journey. And I like the way how you added a touch of humor in your speech as well. Your expression was very pleasant, and overall the speech was perfectly orchestrated, I thought. And I also like the way you drew from your own personal experience of being a mom and how you deal with your kids and how you actually use that while personalization in your products as well. So I thought that was really good. And yeah, and overall, like it had a good rhythm to it, good content, perfectly modulated. I was trying to follow every scene, everything that you were trying to say, and I was never lost. Like the transition from one topic to another was pretty smooth, I thought. And it was very structured, and I would have loved to see a title if you asked me, but otherwise, like it was great. And I even loved the way you ended it, saying, at the end of the day, guys, go ahead and have a glass of wine. So yeah, it was good, and I as an audience enjoyed your speech. Thank you for that.
Thank you for that feedback.
All right, that was great. Thank you so much for that. Now, evaluating our second speech, we have our second speaker, I should say, who was Swati. We have Liz Barnum. Liz, I saw you there a second ago.
Hi, everyone. Yes, so I am evaluating Isha's speech today. So first of all, congrats. It was a fantastic speech. A few things in particular that I especially loved about it is first, your comfort level. I felt like I was in a room with you in a living room, drinking, some coffee or a glass of wine and just catching up and learning more about your thoughts on personalization. It was so warm and welcoming. The second thing I really loved is your eye contact was really strong. That really helped bring me into the conversation. A third thing I loved is your clarity. Your language was really clear and articulated. You didn't speak too fast and it was easy to follow. The overall effect your speech had on me is that I feel like I learned a lot about personalization. I walked away with some frameworks and some tactics of how to use personalization more in my work. So your speech was so beautifully done, and I have a couple observations of how you could knock it out of the park even further. So first is your speech really stoked a curiosity for me to know you more personally. And so that's something you could dig into deeper in the future. Maybe sharing more about your personal motivations and your personal journey on this topic, maybe even weaving in a story or two about something you learned from your personal experience. A second area that you could think about is interweaving a little more vocal variety. So this could really help articulate your delivery even more by kind of being strategic about pauses and changing your vocal variety up and down to really emphasize different points. And overall, I think it was such a spectacular speech. I learned so much, and I really enjoyed that feeling of warmth and sitting in that living room with you. So thank you.
Very good. Thank you so much, Liz. All right, let us see. Our third evaluator today is Nav. I see her right over there with her beautiful green sweater on. And Nav will be evaluating Swati. So here we go.
Hi Swati. I really enjoyed your story of how your name came into being. I'm really surprised your brother knew those words, like the two of them at 3 years old. So I was really surprised by that, and interesting to know how the naming happens where you are from India, because that's not exactly how it happens where I'm from India. So I really enjoyed that. I liked how you took your name and took an opportunity each year or after whatever time period to, come up with acronyms. I really enjoyed that. The only I would invite you to consider, like when you're speaking here, to weave more product management into your speech, so weaving more of like product experience. I would have liked to see you tying in your product journey, specifically weaving in, because you're an entrepreneur. So I think there's a lot of challenges and learnings. So I would have liked to see more of that in your speech. But I think overall, I would like to say that other than that, so I think, for example, Isha weaved in a lot of that, not trying to compare, but so I think in general though, you have so much energy and you smile a lot that it really engages the audience, and like people just want to hear you keep talking. So I think that's a really positive that I saw in your speech. So I hope that was helpful.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Wonderful evaluations, everybody. Now let's listen to some finer evaluations that took place too, in terms of the details. And since you didn't describe what you were doing in the very beginning of the meeting, Misha, could you please explain as all counter what you were doing today?
Yes, absolutely. The purpose of the R counter is to note the words and sounds that are used as a crutch or pause filler by anyone who speaks for anyone who speaks. And during the meeting, I was listening for the overused words, including and, well, but, so, right, those words. I was also looking for the filler sounds like oh, should I go into the evaluations?
Yes, please.
Okay. So I started off with with Erica. She did 2 arms. Angie, when she was introducing herself, she did 1 in 3 arms. Priyanka did 1 and 4 ers, 1 so. Laurie, the Toastmaster, did only 2 ums. Svetlana hasn't done anything so far. The grammarian did 3 ums. Jennifer, our first speaker, did only 1 And Isha and Swati, sorry, I'm suffering from some allergies. Isha and Swati did, I did not count any ums and ahs or any of the filler words, which was fantastic. Next one, table topic, Rosalia did 5 R's and 2 so's. I was the second table topic, so I couldn't find that for myself. Table topic 3 was Angie, and Angie did 1 during that time. Next, our evaluator, Srimai, did 6 ums, 1 like. Next was Liz as an evaluator, did 3 ums, and the third evaluator, Nav, did 5 ums, 1 like, and 1 think. Thank you.
Oh, great report, Misha. Thank you very much. And let's see, grammarian, Tanya. Wait a minute, Tanya, before you say anything, let me just say, I don't remember what the word of the day is. Otherwise, I'd use it right now.
Right, it's experience.
Oh, yes, I should have been more experienced to realize that. No, it's so good. All right,
no
go ahead.
problem. So those that use the word of the day, like I said in the beginning, Svetlana, Priyanka, and Lori, before we even started, use the word of the day. Then Jennifer, Isha, Erica, Srimai, and Liz, I noted that they all use the word experience. So as I was listening to the speeches, I was listening for words that were very pertinent to the theme of the day, which is personalization. But before that, I did, Lori, when you did your intro, the hands up participation thing was really cool. I like that. It woke it, got us going. So Jennifer, during your speech, I really love the word transformationalist. Use it to describe the role of a product manager, and it really hit home, especially when you tied it back to being a mom and so, you know, we are transformationalists in as product managers and in life. And so I really enjoyed that word. Isha, you used empathy and inference as essential. And I really like the use of those words because they, we need those to be good product managers and to be effective personalizers. So you need to have empathy with your customers and be able to infer. A lot of what we do is listening and then inferring and writing requirements that way. So I like those words. Swati, I think the acronym, your name acronym was so creative. I loved the two, adventurous and inquisitive. They're not words that we would typically associate with personalization. However, in this context, as a product manager, definitely being adventurous and trying new things and inquisitive is key. Rosalia, you used the word differentiation. That is so important for personalization because effective personalization and doing it seamlessly is a differentiator of your product. Misha used the acronym, it was very quick. You used ML, which we all know is machine learning. And from a technology standpoint, that's one area. It hit me because I really want to learn as a product manager how machine learning can impact personalization, et cetera. And just one point with ML, you said it so quickly that folks that might not have caught it, so maybe just, you know, say machine learning. That was my only point there. And then Angie, I think you summed everything up when you mentioned tactics and strategy, how for me, personalization is, you know, it's part of the strategy, it's part of, you know, product management, and it's one of your tactics. You know, we all want the best user experience for our, you know, for our products, and that tied it all together for me.
Okay, thank you for your report, Tanya. And now I'm going to give you an overall report on the meeting today. Started right on time, everybody ready to roll. I think that shows such great consideration for those who step up and are ready to do what they need to do. I always delight in seeing that. The agenda that we had out there, I'm so glad that we put an extra one there because someone may not think to pull the agenda that's there. So I feel like that's incredible consideration for everyone, not to mention the fact that you could also have another person that's popped up there that hasn't really even seen the invitation and wouldn't be able to have it. So good job for that, Lori. Also, very good job in terms of your introductions, the way that you handled everything that you did. You were smooth, professional, elegant. I really enjoyed that quite a bit. And this is a very important role to get and think about, as is all the roles that you have. However small you may think that they are, they're enormous in terms of learning opportunity for you. And this one, Lori, as Toastmaster of the meeting today, you took the ball and you ran with it. So I think that that's very, very good. Oh, and you know what? Thank you so much for that great reminder and for doing it that way. Patricia, before I go on any further, could you please share your timers report?
Hello, can everybody hear me?
I can hear you.
Awesome. Just to clarify, do you want me to do the whole intro before also, or just the timers report?
Basically the general timers report right now.
Okay, sounds good. So for Jennifer, it was 5 minutes and 32 seconds. So she was within time. Isha was 6 minutes and 3 seconds. So it was a little bit out of time. Swati was 5 minutes and 39 seconds, which was within time. Rosalia in the table topics section was 1 minute and 50 seconds, which is within time. Nisha was 1 minute and 39 seconds, which is within time. Angie was 2 minutes and 5 seconds, which is within time. Oh, sorry, it is a little bit out of time. Shrimai was 2 minutes and 3 seconds, so that was within time. Liz was 1 minute and 53 seconds, and that was a little bit out of time. And Nav was 1 minute and 32 seconds, and that was not within time. So the last three were evaluators. Yes, and that's it.
Perfect. Thank you so much for that. And thank you again for just giving me a gentle reminder that I needed to get your timer report from you. When we start off the meeting, one thing that we want to do is we want to introduce all the people that have roles on there so that they explain briefly what exactly it is they're doing and why they're doing it. So with the odd counter, as an example, you would call on that person to introduce what she's doing and why she's doing it, for everyone to see that. The way that I like to see a club operate at its highest level is that you do those introductions regardless of whether or not you have guests in the room. Because when you do have guests, when you're doing those introductions and they become more a matter of fact that you do them, it's much easier for your guests to understand what's going on. And it gives each person another small opportunity to speak in the club and to get organized. So for anybody that may have any butterflies running amok, it can be very, very helpful for those people. For anybody who is just trying to figure out, how do I say a lot in just a little bit of time, that's helpful too. Now, speaking about the different reports that we have, try and keep it to about 2 minutes to your specific reports. That means that you may not be able to report everything, but you'll be able to report the highlights or the areas that you felt were the most important to take note of. So consider doing that. Now, that 1 minute time that you were talking about, an evaluator, first off, can and should have more than 1 minute to write out what their evaluation is going to be for that speaker. But that 1 minute is an evaluation time for everybody in the club to write out a little message that they can say whatever they really liked. Like with Nav, I really loved how you shared da 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 da. You know, Nav, I would love to see it if next time maybe you did this versus that. And they will send those little notes to those individuals that they have. There are other ways of doing it too. We can talk about that at a different time, but this is the easiest way, to be sure, to get those messages out. So those 1 minute gaps are really for all of the members, not just for the formal speech evaluators. When we do table topics, you did a great job doing table topics, Erica. One of the things you want to remember is you want to ask the question first and then select someone to respond to the question. And we do that for a couple of reasons. Reason number one, just even within the club, people will pay more attention if they have no idea who you're going to ask, because they're anticipating that, oh my God, you might ask me. You know, so they'll pay better attention that way. And number two, we don't get warning when we have table topics or we have to speak off the cuff when someone asks us a question, right? Someone's just going to come up to us and say, Erica, what are your thoughts on A, B, C, D, E, F, G? And bam, man, you got to answer that question. And this is what table topics prepares you for, so that you are on your toes, you're ready to roll, and you're thinking about that response, and you're able to compose a response that sounds basically elegant and intelligent. So that's a thing to think about with regards to that. And let us see. Well, you know what? That basically covers it all. You guys just did a great job. You didn't lose anything by taking some time off. You're as good, if not better, than the last time that we met. And you are always a pleasure to be around. So thank you for that pleasure. And now I'm going to turn it over to Lori. Lori, back to you.
Thank you, Rita. So the next part of our meeting today, as we start to wrap up, is our vote counter. So I'm going to turn it over to Amy to give us a report on table topics.
Thanks, Lori. So it was actually a really close vote, but Rosalia was the winner of the table topics. And back to you, Lori.
Awesome. Thank you, Amy. Congratulations on another week of table topics. So as we wrap up, as I mentioned, Erica is going to give us some presidential news and some business updates. Erica?
Thank you, Lori. Congratulations on another excellent meeting today, everybody. Special thanks to all our evaluators and Rita for a wonderful feedback. For all of our guests, this is what the club is about. We're all practicing learning new skills, tackling things that we might have not tackled before, and trying new things. So key to this group is really getting feedback from everybody, learning from everybody, helping each other out. So that's really what we're all striving for our Toastmasters Club. And I'd like to invite any of our guests that would like to give us feedback and let us know how the meeting went and what you thought. If you would like to, I'd like to give you that opportunity right now.
Hi, I'll go. Priyanka here. Sorry, I'm just now I'm conscious. I'm saying and thank you so much. This is a safe space. I think I do want to join you guys, and this is a space where I can be creative, but I can also speak and show where I have to improve and learn a lot of experience that you guys have. This is my first Toastmaster. I have never joined any Toastmaster before. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. We look forward to having you. And anybody else would like to give us a little bit of feedback?
Sure, just a quick comment. So all the Toastmaster meetings that I've been to previously were mixed, with women and men from all different kinds of backgrounds and paths of their lives. But I really love and enjoy the fact that this is very focused of a group where we can share our feedback and learn something that we're really passionate about, so that it gives us a different perspective of how we carry on with our professional careers, and also to understand the fact that we're all here to learn, and that we're very gracious to ourselves and to each other about the fact that we may stumble here a little bit and there, and I'm still a little nervous, but still, we're all very supportive of each other. So I really appreciate everybody for the support.
Thank you so much, Angie. I think you and I have had the same experience trying to find the right group, and I'm really glad you found us. Okay, I have a couple of topics to talk about club business that I'd like to work through today. I always talk about our monthly theme, which is new. That's what it's the new year. It's January, which is it's a great time to start setting some goals. And now that the club is officially chartered, everybody has access to pathways. So congratulations, as of December 21st, we are officially chartered as the Toastmasters International Club. Thank you to everybody that helped us get there and looked through applications, and there was a lot of work that happened to pull everything together. So thank you all. So yes, definitely get on there, look at your pathways. You can take a little quiz if you're not sure which pathway you want. Explore, let us know if you have any questions. We have 2 great mentors now that can answer questions about pathways. So just let us know if you need anything. Our next club meeting is January 31st. Please look for that invite. And let's see, there will be a club survey going out. I'd like to get a little feedback from everybody to see how things are going and see if you would like to identify any areas that we could improve or help with at all. This is contest season, so we're getting started and hopping right into contest season for the district. In the leadership meeting that everybody is invited to after this club meeting, if you stay on the Zoom link, you can join us. We're going to talk about the contest season. So the way contest season works is we start with a club contest, and whoever wins the club contests moves on to the next contest, and so forth. The two topics are international and table topics this year, and I think it would be really good for us to start with table topics. So stay tuned for announcements for contests. I encourage everybody just to hop in and start having some fun and participate. Don't be shy. That's pretty much all of ours first time. The next happy hour is January 19th. So come join us. Let's get to know each other a little bit more. And the other announcement is that we are electing a new secretary today. So I'd like to thank Patricia for all of her hard work in getting things set up for us. We have some really wonderful templates, and our communication is getting much better and looking much professional. So thank you so much, Patricia, for all that you've done to get us this far. We're sorry that you'll have to leave us for a little bit, but we look forward to you returning to the group when you can. We have to have a secretary. It's a very important role, and it is required by Toastmasters International. So today we will be voting on a new secretary. So I'm looking for volunteers or you know, if you would like to make a recommendation for somebody. So I'm going to open it up and let's talk about the secretary position and if we have any volunteers.
May I just say something about the secretary position?
Sure.
I think that it's easy to have an old definition for a term that I think is really not appropriate for this role. And I say that having done the secretary role before. What it really is, in my opinion, is that of the historian, the person that is gathering the information presently and will know where that information is, hopefully on a Google Drive, and keeps basically everything together for the club so that we know that we have an EIN number, so that we know that we did sign our different charter docs that were needed. It's a role also that is, like with all Toastmaster leadership roles, truly leadership. You're not doing it by yourself. So don't think, oh, but there might be times where I can't be there or what have you. This is where learning how to delegate and to delegate with kindness definitely comes into play, as with all the officer roles. So if you're thinking, I'd like to take a little bit of a dip into seeing what leadership is all about, this is your chance to do so. And I can tell you right now, those who do it are the ones that get the greatest bang for their buck, without question. And I'm glad that I was pushed into that situation, because I really didn't want to at first, until I realized what I received afterwards.
Thank you so much, Rita. I would have to say as well, like, yeah, I've been in a number of clubs, and secretary is the one that's like, you know, it doesn't sound that exciting, but working with Patricia and seeing how Toastmasters approaches the secretary position, it's more interesting. It's more like we work together to talk about agendas and what's important and how to communicate that with everybody. And I don't know, I find it really rewarding working with the secretary and being able to do those things. So just a little bit of feedback and, you know, how I see the role. So we did have, I'm gonna call out Jennifer, trying to find your.
Yeah, I'm here. I'd be happy to fill that role. I'll try it on for size and, with some guidance, because I've never been the secretary before of Toastmasters. And I'm sure Patty, along with the leadership team, will help me out. So I'll go ahead and try it out and see where it goes.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Yep.
I saw, I'm sorry, I'm
And
trying
I
to,
think Melissa was also asking too, what are the responsibilities of the secretary? So one of the things that Rita had mentioned, it's like a misnomer, more of like the historian. So, I don't know, Rita or Erica, if you can kind of describe a little bit of what does the day in the life kind of look like for the secretary, and what are they responsible for?
Well, that person, of course, is going to take minutes from the executive council meeting. That's for sure. And that's like a must do, because that's part of the history of the club, the decisions that they make and so forth. Beyond that, there's a lot of other things that you can do that you may not at first say, I don't know if I really even want to do that, but it starts to be fun. One thing I started to do that I enjoyed was sharing with the members what had happened in the meeting before, right? So like for this meeting today, either today or tomorrow, I would just send out, here's the agenda. If there were any changes on the agenda, I'd point out what they were. And I talked a little bit about what we did that was particularly interesting and what we could look forward to for next week. And this is very, it's funny because it's a historian thing to do. However, what it also becomes is it becomes a membership magnet, because people say, oh, I don't want to miss another meeting. That sounded like a good meeting. And they'll be there and they tell other people about it. And it's fun to do for me because I do like to share. I love for people to know what's going on and everything. So, and I guess what I'm saying when I say that is that a large part of what you do as whatever role you have is what you all agree to do as an executive council, and then also the things that you want to test drive and try, because this is a learning lab for leaders too. So if you thought to yourself, gee, I wonder how this would fly for a historian, do it. And if it works, beautiful. If it doesn't work, oh, well, no harm, no foul, you tried. So I know that's not really giving you maybe enough concrete answers, but that's because you're going to create your own concrete answers.
I'd like to share also, if that's okay. It's Patricia. Hi. So I really enjoy being a secretary. Because of personal reasons. I can't continue, but it's really fun. At first, for me, like taking minutes was intimidating. It was like, I need to do this to challenge myself, because I know, like, as a product manager, it's good to keep track and then also be able to like organize things. So definitely there's like for me, a project management aspect, and it gives me the opportunity to collaborate more with my colleagues, and then also really just get to, like, when I reached out to like Jennifer or like Swati or Esha for like their speech titles, that for me gives me the opportunity to connect more with the members of the club, and just to be able to in my experience, just try to embody the culture and the vision of Toastmasters, creating more of a safe space. So having a more personalized experience. So that I really enjoy it. I recommend it to anyone who wants to work in a more collaborative space, and also even essentially challenge yourself. So yeah, that's my input.
thank you so much, Patricia. Okay, this will be a formal vote. Is there anybody else that is interested that
Don't be shy.
Okay, so I think it's unanimous. I don't think we actually have to vote. Thank you so much, Jennifer, for volunteering. We will support you in any way that we can. And I already have a couple of ideas. I've worked with Patricia on, new roles we can add to help with that position as well. So thank you so much.
You are very welcome. I mean, I like the sentiment of many people who've already spoken, our guests. Like, I really believe in this group. It's been a joy to work with you guys and kind of listen to the speeches, learning as a product manager or former product manager myself. So I'm more than happy to chip in here. So to keep this group of women, amazing, talented women alive. So for sure.
Well, congratulations, Jennifer. And I would also suggest if you could stay on for the leadership meeting starting today, it might help you better with the transition.
Yeah, I can do.
Thank you.
And Patricia will help you transition as well. So she'll be in contact with you.
Okay.
Welcome, Jennifer. And that is the last announcement for today. Thank you, everybody. I'm gonna return it to Svetlana.
I think you're on mute. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, I had a weird pop-up. Well, thank you so much. And thank you, Jennifer. Welcome to the team. So exciting. And Patricia, of course, thank you for everything you've done, for all your help so far. And yes, just to echo Erica, we await your return. So just a few closing reminders. Happy hour. Let's all reconnect, have maybe a beverage or some tea, and just sort of re-engage together and see where we can find some synchronies amongst ourselves. And so that is on January 19th at 5 p.m. Pacific and 8 p.m. Eastern. And then the next meeting is on the 31st. So January 31st at the same time on Sunday, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. And we look forward to seeing you there. In the meantime, any questions, comments, please message us on Facebook, email us. We look forward to hearing from you. And thank you all for another wonderful meeting.
Svetlana,
yes.
I would like to share the roles for the next meeting.
Yes, please do.
All right. So the next meeting is on January 31st. And if you are looking at the screen right now, I'll go in the present mode. So as our Toastmaster is going to be Misha Singh. And our grammarian, a word of the day will come from the grammarian. Our speaker one will be Amy Kirkland. I know you have not done the speech yet. And the topic for our next meeting is stakeholder management. Our speaker number 2 is going to be Rosalia. Speaker number 3 will be Tanya. Evaluator 1 will be Namrata. Evaluator 2, Rupa. Evaluator 3 will be Subarna. I will be the table topics master. Our general evaluator will be Rita. Our grammarian is going to be Srimai. Our all counter will be Olena. Our timer will be Jennifer. And our vote counter will be Swati, with Svetlana still being our sergeant of arms. So after the next meeting, all of our members would have given our icebreaker speech, unless somebody new joins and you have not given, please reach out. But other than that, all of us would have given our icebreaker speeches. So I am pulling up some roles for the 14th, and I'm planning out the February meetings and onwards on how we will do our speeches and who will be the speakers. So there's a sneak peek of where you are on the February one also, but I'm not going to go through those. But if you would like to volunteer for the February meeting, please feel free to let me know. That one is still tentative, and I will switch those out. If you can't make the meeting, please let me know at least 1 week in advance, and also try to find your replacement. Questions, concerns, please reach out to me. You can email me directly at ishasingh2005@gmail.com, or you can just email the WIP Toastmasters Club at gmail.com. Thank you. Back to you,
All
Svetlana.
right, thank you for that. And we will be, you will be seeing more about that over email as well. Well, with that, I think that concludes everything. So unless there's any final words, anyone? Okay. Thank you so much again for joining us today, and have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Hi, everyone.
So should we take